guys, I hope you're doing very well today. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today I'm going to be showing you all the master studies I've done recently. So for some context, recently I challenged myself to do 31 days of studying my masters, which is supposed to take me 31 days, but it took me about 3 months. But regardless, I've just finished the challenge, so I thought it'd be fun to do a little bit of a flip through and commentary on the pieces and talk about all the things I've learned and share the journey with you now. And so let's get to it, okay? I actually started my series with Sargent, mostly sketches actually. I felt those are a little bit easier to accomplish than his oil paintings. Well, his oil paintings are literally another level, so I have a little bit of difficulty copying those. So I thought it will be very a bit nicer to start with the sketches actually. So yeah, I did few of his sketches and copied those. I do, among all the sketches, this is actually my favorite. I do love how how I used different shades of blue, and there's like a little bit of purpley and a little bit of blue, sky blue is going on here. I do love that. And I don't really hate all the other studies, but I don't hate them, either of them, but this is my favorite, yeah. And I have changed the color scheme here. As you can see, it is more like a bluish to purpley kind of way that is going on. You cannot actually tell out of context it is a master study, because I feel like this is more like a modernish vibe going on here. But yeah, I don't really hate any of them. But this is a study of his oil paintings I did last year. I also made a YouTube video about it, if you remember, but I decided to include it here because I feel like for 2 reasons actually. First, I feel like I'm not really very good at drawing man, and especially Sargent's work. Copying Sargent's work is, I don't know, very difficult for me. The way he keeps his work very, all the features very understated, and the most difficult part for me is the eyes. The way he draws eyes is very subtle. It's like the models are almost crying. I don't know how to mimic that thing. So but this one is not a bad study in any means. So this is also actually the first master study I've ever done. So yeah, that is all the reasons I included it here. So yeah. Next we have many more line deckers. This is actually first line decker study I've done. This is my favorite study in this series. I do love it to bits actually. This is so good. There are a few many point of contention for me. The first thing it is lit from behind, below, so the division of the shadows and the lights is very different from what I'm used to. So, and it is also a man, and I'm not really very good at drawing men, but this one turned out very good, and I was so pleased with myself, I cannot tell you. And it made really made my confidence grow. I love this one. Yeah, this is Andrea Loomis study. I actually did it after this one. This one is quite reminiscent of this one, just a similar kind of a color scheme going on here. And this was a more purpley, this one a more pinkish kind of way, but this one turned out way better actually. So yeah, I do love this one. I love the nose and the mouth. I do love a pouty kind of mouth here. So yeah. Next we have a few more line decker. This is actually quite the complicated one. This is also my favorite study in this series, one of my favorite studies. I actually had to do a trial run, before doing the actual study, because I feel like this is there is lots of complicated situation going on. I'm not really very used to whenever there is like a more than one light sources, and here there is like a two light sources. From here it's like a white light here, and there is like a very cool light from above here. I'd put the original drawing on the screen, you would understand a little bit better. Also, there's like a very dark shadow, as you can see here from this side. So yeah, I thought I would give it a trial run and see what's what, you know. And from this one, what I learned was there is like I need to keep more of a white space to depict this like a white light, especially above the eye, you know. See? And these are the things that another thing I really love about this study is like the whole the way I, oh my god, I cannot even speak. The way I did the pearls. I'm really not very good at drawing pearls. I cannot speak, see? Oh my god. Yeah, I do love the way I did the pearls. I'm not really very good at usually drawing pearls, and I really do love how this one turned out. Yeah, there was another thing I was going to say. Wait. You know how it is very important to do a trial run, especially if you're recording. When you're recording, especially something that is I'm not used to, I feel like doing a trial run really helping me, because it make me understand. I'm like a little bit more confident, you know, and especially when recording, it comes really handy. So yeah, next we have few more line decor. Same with the last one. Here we have the same situation going on, and I did a trial run and then did it again. Here the point of contention for me was this desaturated color that is going on here. Wait, let me make you understand what I mean. So at first I was thinking to do like a very cool tone bright shadows, but after doing the trial run I decided to keep it more to the original. So yeah, I also, as you can see, I decided to remove this hand part and just keep this structure here. Yeah, I feel like this will make a really good sticker, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's that. You know, I don't really love it like the way I love this study, but this one really didn't turn out that bad, but I love this one more. I don't like how I did the nose here. I feel like the nose is like too broad. Whenever there is like a model or it's like a reference where the model is looking up and you can visibly see the nostrils and stuff, I find that very difficult to draw. So that was another reason I did the trial run. I do feel like the nose here turned out way better than what I did here. So yeah. Next we have a few more line decor, actually, as if it is any surprise. This one I actually had to do 3. Wait, let me remove the previous so that it will be a little bit easier to see. Okay, let me remove those ones as well. Okay, so I actually had to do 3 like trial runs. These are not like, I won't say trial run, these are like failed attempts. Here I couldn't quite figure out how to do the eye, this eye. I was kind of making a mess here. I also don't love this study, how this one turned out. I would put the original on the screen. You see it looks like he's angry here, but that's really not the case in the original. I really should have kept this eye very much understated and focus on this eye. So that's something I would do differently if I were to do it again, you know. So yeah, that's that. I think there is another here. This is also another line decor. I do love how I did the thing I was talking about with the eye here. I kept this eye quite understated. There's like more focus on this eye. This is something I should have done here. but it is what it is, I suppose. Yeah. What do we have next? Oops. So this is another wine decor. This one I also had to do 3 trial runs. Not trial runs, these are like failed attempts mostly. Initially I decided to do like a monochromatic scheme with the purple and pinks, but that didn't quite work out, so I decided to do another attempt where I added like a full-blown colored drawing, and this one turned out way better, but I felt like I could do it a little bit more like expressively, so I did another attempt. So I did another attempt here, and it turned out so well. I really do love this study. It's actually one of my favorite study in this series. You know, the way Linedracker, I would put the original on the screen, you'd see that the way he draws, he draws in oils, right? So there is like a visible streak marks, which I try to mimic in watercolor. It's not watercolor, it's acrylic ink, but I tried to mimic that, and that's really my favorite part here. I do love this one so much. And I also give the lines here, all the lines you see that structures the face, and I didn't quite blend those out and try to keep them, you know, and I do love that. I do love the look of very like liney, I don't know how to say it, it's like a liney thingy that structures the face, and I do love it. And I changed the color accordingly, the color of the liner accordingly, so that there is like as you can see here, this like line is very understated, here this line is very much bold, you know. And I love the look. Usually the way I paint, you'd see my style before, there is no line anywhere, and I was really much of a proponent for very much of a blended look, but this is something I've been having way more fun drawing, and I'm having so much fun with this one. And yeah, I think that is kind of the direction I'm going in stylistically. I think my style is going to change a bit, so yeah, I do love this one. I like it. When I posted it on Instagram, not many people actually liked it, but this is actually my favorite study. I do love it. Whenever I'm looking at it, like now I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, I did really well. That is good. Okay, next we have a different study. This is a drawing of Elena Kiselieva. This one is much like less work than this one, and it took me like 20 minutes. I don't really love how this one turned out. I tried to do the eyes, but it really turned out that well. I like the color scheme. Yeah, it's like a more purpley sort of way, you know. I actually don't remember which artist it was, and I actually deleted this video itself because I don't really love how this one turned out, and I don't like anything about it. Even though when I did the sketch itself, I loved it, but after when I drew it, I didn't like it at all. So I deleted the study itself, and it is not quote-unquote considered in my master study series. So yeah, so another line decor next. Let me remove this. Okay, so next we have another line decor. So this one I had to do like 1, 2, 3 these are like failed attempts mostly. I had to do like few attempts before getting this right, and as I said, this is like I don't really mind like as many of the failed attempts, as long as I'm like improving with each attempt, you know. But I put original on the screen, you'd see there's like lots of things going on with this study, and there's like too many light sources. I couldn't quite figure out how to go about it. As you'd notice, one thing that was very much of a contention for me was the nose. I was like didn't know how to go about it. So yeah, the nose, I actually tried it a few times, as you can see, and I don't really hate it. I could have done better with the cap itself, but other than that, I don't hate it. I don't love it either, but yeah, I don't hate it. As you can see, I was like, I'd say too many as you can see, right? But out here I was like calculating how many studies I've done and how many are left, you know. So yeah, there is that. So next we have another Andrew Loomis study. I think I did this last year. I decided to include in this. I do love how this one turned out. I love the way I did the eyes. Let me come closer a bit. See? Wow. I do love this, and I do love this. I really do love how I did the hair. Recently, I've been having a kind of a crisis with the hair. Previously, the way I used to stylize hair is very put together and every strand is kind of marked. But lately, I'm trying to move past that, if you will, and do a little bit more understated and a little bit messy kind of way. But I don't really know. I'm kind of in a crisis. I guess I just have to draw through it, you know. So yeah, my favorite part is the eyes and the nose, really. Yeah. So next we have a line decker study. This one also had like a very complicated lighting scheme going on. There is like a very white light from below, and there is like a very cool light from here that is hitting the nose on this part. Another part that I was very anxious about is the nose. The thing I was talking about with the nose, whenever there's like a nostrils, if the underside of the nose is visible, I feel that is very difficult for me to draw. So, but I think I managed it. This one I didn't even do a trial run, but I don't think it is that bad of a drawing. But the video itself didn't turn out that good, but because I wasn't really very confident. But I do love how the eyes turned out. I really do love that. That is my favorite part here. Also, the thing I was very anxious about is the nose, which turned out okay in my opinion. So that's good, right? Yeah. Wait, this one I don't think it says. Wait, I forget which artist it is. Let me check that actually. Okay, yeah, I got it. This is a study of Joaquin Sorolla. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, but I'll put the name on the screen. But I had to try that first, and it's a failed attempt, and I had to try it again. I was actually going for, you know, how I previously had success with doing like a full-blown full color painting instead of like a monochromatic study. I was going for the same effect here, but that didn't quite work out, so I switched back to a monochromatic color scheme, and that worked out very well in my opinion. Here I also kept this liney sort of way, you know, see, I kept the lines quite visible, which I don't do. So yeah, I don't really hate this one either. I don't love it either. So it's just a study I've done, I guess. So next we have a study of Henry Clive. This is a study I've done, and this is really one of my favorite studies I've ever done, like in this whole last few years. My favorite thing was with this study was the eyes, the way I drew the eyes, and it's really like so satisfying to draw as well. I love that. And I really do love how this one turned out. And another part that I made a mistake is the lips. You know, I wanted to keep it more poutier, and I previously made it a little bit bigger, then I changed it. So yeah. So next study we have of, I believe this is wait, let me check that actually. Tamara di Lampica. I just checked. Last year when I was drawing most of like a 1920s vibe kind of drawing and copying masters from that era, a lot of people were commenting how much it looks like a Tamara di Lampica, so I looked her up and I really do love how Lampica Tamara's work. I don't think I should be saying it like that actually. Master Tamara's work. Well, that doesn't sound good either. Okay, I'll just say her. I really do love her work, and it's really like, I also find it very difficult to copy actually. The way her work is so very, I don't know, very stark. So I only drew the face, and I believe this was a self-portrait maybe. So yeah, I really do love whenever I get to draw eyes like that, where it's like a opportunity to do eyes very big and very, you know, I don't know what this thing is called, like a upper lid. There's like a little bit of gap in between the lower lid and the eyeballs. irises. I do love that. This one, I think it turned out okay. I don't really have much of a strong opinion about it. So yeah. So next we have Charles. Next I did was Charles Dana Gibson. This is a few of Gibson girls I've done. So actually, I really, you know, how Gibson girls are very much known for their intricate hair, but as I said, I've been going through a kind of a crisis in terms of how to draw hair, and I didn't really want to do how I usually did back in 2022 and 3, the way each strand is mapped up. I'm trying to get out of that, I suppose, and I decided to keep it very much understated. It didn't really turn out that good in my opinion, even though these sketches were like one of my favorite sketches in the whole series, but didn't turn out that good. But it is a study and learning opportunity all the same, right? So this is another among this 1, 2, 3 Gibson girls I've done. This is actually my favorite. You see, I actually did a first run, and the second is like quite the failed attempt. I kind of messed up the nose and stuff, so I decided to do it again, and it turned out way better. Even though I messed up this like neck area, I put a white marker here, see. And here I did the same with liney sort of thing, the way lines are encapsulating and structuring her face, like way I did with this one. And I kept all the lines very much stated. I usually don't really do that, so that is I've been doing. I love it. I really do love. I really want to draw it again. I suppose one time or the other I would draw it. I really do love how our facial features turned out, and also the eyes. It really looks very soulful, doesn't it? Also, I did the liner in like a contrasting color. See? Wait, let me come closer actually. Yeah. So that is also I like. I like her nose. Really cute. Pointy nose, right? This kind of nose are really desired these days, isn't it? Anywho, oh yeah, there is another thing to say here. This is after Dana Gibson. I did a study of Abbott, Henderson, Thayer. I think it's Abbott. Yeah, Abbott feels right. So Abbott, Henderson, Thayer. It is this painting is called, I believe, Angel. Well, I didn't say it like that. I don't know. This painting is called Angel. I really do love it. My favorite thing in this drawing is the eyes. The way I did the eyes, like very almond sort of way. I have a cousin who has eyes like that. He looks very innocent and very, yeah. I believe Thayer himself drew his daughter as an angel, which is so nice, right? But I really do love how this one turned out. But it is really one of my favorite study in the series. This one, as you can tell, is Van Gogh. This is actually a failed attempt before I did this. I was actually going for a full red, like a monochromatic study, but later on I kind of I wasn't really sure, as you would see, like the way Van Gogh draws is like he uses very many colors, and I'm not really very used to that. I'm very used to minimalistic paintings and color schemes, so I was really feeling very out of sort, and so I didn't really know where to go, so I decided to add a little bit of blues to like contrasting. When I added all the reds, it felt very, I don't know, very flat, you know. Then I added the blue. I feel like, yeah, that is the direction that feels right, so I did it again, and it turned out okay, I suppose. I wasn't really sure how I don't really know how I feel about it. It is okay study, I suppose, but it is not really reminiscent of Van Gogh's art itself, because the point of doing studies of masters is mostly because how you want to learn and mimic their way of drawing, but I cannot do it. So yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. I don't really know how to use many colors, so yeah, this is what it is, I suppose. Yeah. This is another Gibson girl I've done, but this one was a bust, and it turned out very bad. I didn't really try it again, so it is not quote-unquote considered in my master study. So wait. So next we have a study of Frank Cadogan Cowper. It's called Vanity, and I don't really love this study either. I actually did it last November. Last November was the time I wanted to start my studying the master series, but it didn't happen. So I did it at the time, and now looking back at it, I don't really love it at all. I would put the original on the screen. You'd see the weight is very soft and understated, and I went overboard the colors and the reds, and with the all like straight line shadows everywhere. At the time, I actually got my flat brush for the first time, so I was way too excited, I suppose. So yeah, I actually should have kept the eyes a little bit more open, I suppose. But I do love how I did the eyelashes. That's really nice. Usually what I don't do is do like a light wash of color, as I did here with the blue and stuff, which is something I don't usually do, but I did it here. I don't really love that either. I should have kept it way softer. But I do love the way I drew the hair. It was very therapeutic. Yeah. And here, this like a watermark here. Actually, all my drawings are like literally strewn across my room, so it got wet in the rain. So yeah. Next we have last and final study of Decker. This is also my favorite study in the series. I do love how I did this thingy, the head gear, I suppose. I love how I drew the eyes and the nose. I usually don't draw a nose like that often, but this is like a more Egyptian kind of painting. I do love the side profile, I do love the eyes, I do love the headgear. I was actually very much not sure how to go about the headgear itself. I'd put the original on the screen, you'd see it is very much of a difficult color to achieve in watercolor and in like a non-oil medium, I suppose. I didn't really know what color to choose for the headgear, but I decided to just do whatever, yes, but it just worked out. So yeah, this is really good. I feel really good about it. Anywho, so next we have a study of, I believe it is Franz Xavier Winterholter. I'm very sorry if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. This is actually another favorite study of mine. I really do love how this one turned out. As you can see, there is one failed attempt before I did this one. I couldn't quite figure out how to do the hair, and also kind of messed up the nose. You cannot quite see it. I actually kind of messed up the nose in my first try, but later on I tried it again. So yeah, I actually wouldn't have drawn it again if I weren't to mess up the hair. Originally, the way it is drawn, it is very subtle and soft, and I didn't really know how I want to go about it. A little bit more stylistic kind of way, but yeah, I tried to draw it again. Actually, I was going to do like a blue underpainting, then I was going to go about like more of a black, but I tried later on, I just kept it that way, and that looks really sick, doesn't it? I really do love it, and I really do love how when the whole painting only black is in the eye, so all the focus draws in the eye, so that is another part of it that I really do love. And yeah, this is really my favorite painting. Can you tell? I really love how soft it is, how subtle. I really do love it. I also try to keep the lines quite visible as well, which is something I've been loving, as I was saying before. Yeah, so I really do love this painting. Yeah, anyway, so I just still, whenever I see this, I get mesmerized, to be honest. Am I praising myself too much? I don't know. I mean, I don't always get to do that, because sometimes after this one I'll show you the painting I've done after this, like literally after this, but this was quite a disaster. But whenever I was just seeing this right now, and I was like, wow, I did this. Well, yeah, maybe I should have done more of a black in the hair, but I really do love how the state it is right now as well. Anywho, what we have lost. This is actually the last study in my master series. This is I believe Norman Rockwell. I had to first do that because it's like a failed attempt here, and I had to do it again, and I messed up the chin area here, and I really hate this drawing. As I was saying, really after this one is like a terrible blow to my ego. Not ego, I think blow to my confidence, I suppose. I hate the eyes, I hate everything. I hate the hair, I hate the hat, I hate the eyes. Did I say eyes? Yeah, I hate the eyes. I really do hate it. I always have trouble drawing the other eye whenever I see, like, I don't know how to draw the other eye, and I was messing it up here as well. So I hate everything about it. I absolutely hate it. Can I say? Did I say I hate it? I absolutely hate it. Absolutely hate it. The only thing I like about it is the lips. I like the nose. So yeah, if I didn't do the heart, I don't think it would have been that bad, to be honest. But as soon as I did the hat thingy, it was so bad. I don't know. Yeah. So that's all my studies in my master's series. So next I'm going to show you a few of the studies that didn't quote unquote made it into the series. So yeah, I'm going to talk about those and why they didn't make it to the series. So first one we have here, it is another line decker painting I've done. I think I did this in the last November. That was originally when was to start studying, but I was going to draw it again when I started doing this March, but I didn't do it. I messed up. I really don't hate it, to be honest, that much, but I don't like the way I messed up the nose, so you couldn't quite distinctly see where the nose ends and the black starts. So one of the regrets I have is the way I did the black. So yeah, I like the hair. I feel like also there is like a neck is too thick, but I do like how I went about the lips and the stuff. I like the eyes, but there are parts about it I like, there are parts about it I hate. I really should have drawn it one more time to get it right, but I really didn't want to do it again. So yeah, that's the first one. Yeah, this is another line decker study I've done. I did it the first try and the second try, and now that I look back at it, I feel like it didn't turn out that bad. Not as bad as this one, I suppose, but at the time I really hated it and deleted the video itself, so it never made it to the series. Oh, so this is another line decker painting. It's like an old man, but I kind of messed up the sketch itself and I never really tried it again, even though it was one of my like favorite sketch in the series, but I never really tried it again, so yeah, it is a mess. So this is another line decker series. As I said, I told you I love line decker. He's my favorite artist of all time, and literally did like 15-20 line decker studies, and ideally I'd actually love to have his understanding of how shadows and valleys work, but that is a very far-fetched dream, as you can tell. So here I was trying to study the way fabric works, and as you can see, as a failure, and you cannot fail harder than I fell here. So there is that. I feel like often I have trouble like choosing colors. I put the original on the screen. You see, like choosing color is such a difficult task, especially if you're doing it in watercolor. Once like I feel like in oil it is a little bit of a easier, I don't know, I want to say easier, but I feel like it is more merciful. But whereas in watercolor, or I was using acrylic ink, it is very difficult to get back the white parts once it is lost, right? So absolute failure, just never I've ever drawn. So this is another line decker. So yeah, this is another line decker. This one never made it to the final painting. I was doing a few trial runs. There is very many like color or light sources going on. I couldn't quite figure out how to depict this like cool color here. I didn't want to do as much of a like a harsh shadow boundary, but I couldn't figure out how to do that. So at first I was going to do a little bit of different color scheme. Then I used a very blue. Then I decided to keep it white, but none of them felt really right, so I never really made it to the final painting. Oh yeah, this one is a Sargent painting. As I was saying before, remember, I never quite can do Sargent's painting well, especially with the eyes, and I actually tried it 8 times. I will show you, and it kept getting worse. So this is the first try I did with like a blue shadows, like a cool tone shadows, but that didn't really work well. I tried it again and it was worse. I literally changed the race of the painting. Then I tried it again, okay, and I decided to change the color of the shadow as well. See here as well, but that didn't work out. I tried to change the color of the hair as well. That didn't work out. So So next I tried it again. I even reworked the sketch itself so that it can help me. I was actually following a tutorial here of one of my favorite artists called MQs. I was following a tutorial and that didn't work out either, as you can see here. And then after reworking the sketch itself, I don't know if you can tell, there is, oh my, their hair is actually very different. I don't know if you can tell. Hair is very much different. I reworked the hair, then I tried it again. That didn't work out either. It's like a 90s eyebrow. Anywho, so that didn't work out either. Then I changed the paper again to a hot press paper, and to, yeah, here you can tell how different the hair is actually. Can you tell? Oh, this one after reworking it from here, I suppose. Yeah, so that didn't work out either. So I was crying, and then I put ink or watercolor, whatever I had, in the crying my tears, and then I was writing my initials. So yeah, absolute mess. Then I tried it again. As I said, it kept getting worse, right? Like, see, I don't really usually mind trying it a few times, you know, after, like, as long as it's getting better. It's the first try, and this is like a 5th, 6th try, and it's worse. I tried every avenue that was available to me, but it kept getting worse. And I tried it again, and this is the last try. This is where I was actually following the tutorial itself. It is a tutorial on gouache from one of my favorite artists, but it was even worse. I even changed the size, right, so that I can like maybe work better, but that didn't help either. And you know, throughout the time that I was showing you all the studies I've done, and sometimes I have to retry certain things, but it has never happened when I have to like try it 8 times, and it is worse than the first try. So it's like the most frustrating thing that has ever happened to me. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. How many times? Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 times. I had to try it 8 times. It is the worst. And I recently developed this policy of only trying it a few times. If it's not working, I just move past it. And at the time, I was kind of, every time I feel more invigorated to try it again. It's like a stubbornness, if you will. So yeah, so that is all, you guys. That is all the studies I've done in this series, and so that's all, you guys. That is all the studies I've done in this series, and it is a little bit of different video than my usual one. Usually I not draw and chat, I script, and then I do a voiceover. This is like a more chatty sort of video, so there is more I didn't script anything, so it's like a more casual. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my idiosyncrasies didn't bother you as much, you know. And with that, I will see you in my next one. Bye.